Dear chess friends, finally, after all, we will speak about the main position of the Berlin Wall. We start, as usually, e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, knight f6, short castle, knight takes e4, d4, knight d6, and the main line begins with the move bishop takes c6. Black takes back with d-pawn to open the diagonal for his y-squared bishop. White has to take on e5 with a pawn. Black plays knight f5, queen takes d8, king takes d8, which is the main position of the Berlin Wall. As you can see here, black has two bishops, but he has a worse pawn structure because white can play on the king side with h3, g4, f4. In addition, black king is in the center, however this doesn't matter that much because we are already in the endgame. So, the first moves are common, knight c3, and the variation I suggest to play with black is king e8, to keep black king in the center, to later be able maybe to come over e7, e6 to attack the e5 pawn after some pieces are exchanged. Not immediately, of course, but later on it will be possible. White plays h3, and now the line we will discuss starts with bishop e7. The idea of black is to play knight h4 to exchange one more knight, to simplify position as far as possible, later to exchange one more rook on the d-file, and as we will see, his position is very safe. White has different opportunities here. The most important and the most dangerous for black is the move g4. We will speak about it at the end. Other lines are, for example, bishop f4, which does not have an independent meaning, independent idea, because actually the bishop stays wrong on f4. You can see it even intuitively, because the bishop needs the idea of white is to play f4, f5, so the bishop on f4 disturbs. Black plays knight h4, knight takes h4, bishop takes h4, knight e2. White wants to play knight d4 in case black plays bishop e6. That's why black waits and plays bishop e7 first. Rook a d1. Now there are two good possibilities for black. He can play simply c5, which will allow white to play knight c3 with idea knight d5. That's why maybe preferable for black is to play bishop c5 in the 14th move, so that in case white plays knight d4, black simply can take on d4, rook takes d4, play bishop f5, c3, rook d8, exchange the rooks and enter into the endgame, which is just draw. White doesn't have chance in this different color endgame. After the rook exchange, the king will go to e6, by the way, as I said earlier, and will always keep the e5 pawn under pressure. So if instead of knight d4, after bishop c5, if instead of knight d4, white plays knight g3, with idea knight h5, then black simply plays h5 himself, and after bishop g5, bishop e7, bishop takes e7, king takes e7. His position is just very good. He plays h4 in the next move, then bishop f5, attacking the pawn c2. Later on he can play a5, a4 and rook a5, attacking the e5 pawn. We will see this idea also later in the variations. So that's why bishop f4 is really not dangerous for black.